This has just really become a big sister chat, I'm gonna be honest. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Neetu and I'm a second year English student at Oxford University. I'm going into my third year and I'm from East London. Today I'm going to be doing a kind of update of how my second year went. I'm going to give an honest review. If you guys haven't seen my honest review from first year, I'll maybe put it in a box over here. Just check out what I talked about basically, and maybe how this year is different and how it's similar. So the way I'm going to organise the video is just by kind of starting off with the academics. Then the second thing I'm going to talk about is kind of just like friendships. And then the final thing I'm going to talk about is just me, myself and I, and kind of how I learn, just kind of how to like prioritise myself. That's something that I didn't really know how to do. And upon a lot of reflection, I think what happened in first year was that I said I was going to do all these things, like look after myself and prioritize myself, and I didn't really do it as much as I should have, which is probably why a lot of things went wrong. Another thing is that I didn't get enough closure on a lot of the stuff that had happened. For those of you who don't know, I struggled a lot with my mental health towards the end of first year and then the beginning of second year, and that really impacted how this year basically went out. In terms of academics, second year is a jump up, and I don't think enough people tell you that, okay? So for English, in first year, looking at like a text from the 1920s, looking at a text from the 1800s versus analysing poetry from the 1600s is actually really difficult. Looking at novels, so when novels were actually a novel, so a new idea, in like the 1700s, like looking at the first novels that were ever produced, like they're not the same as the novels that exist now. They weren't as like plot centered, they weren't as self-explanatory almost. They're really hard to get into, and if you're looking at social and political context from those days, like you're like, what's going on? So I found that really hard. In terms of academia, it's a jump up, because in second year you look at Middle English, so you look at like the Middle English period, which is basically Chaucer's time, so I would say like post-Norman conquest. Then we looked at like the Renaissance period, so we looked at people like John Donne and metaphysical poetry. This was in first term. Then in second term we moved on to books like Robinson Crusoe, Gulliver's Travels, that kind of stuff from like the 1700s. This term we moved on to the Romantics, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and people like I've completely forgot everything I've done. Who did I study in this pandemic? Oh yeah, so we looked at like, we had a Shakespeare paper, then we looked at Romantics, so we looked at like Byron, we looked at William Wordsworth, we looked at Shelley, we looked at, I don't even remember, Wollstonecraft. So we looked at basically like when concepts like liberty and stuff started developing in the West. So we're looking at some really important and quite disgusting parts of history. So we kind of go through all of literature from like 1400s all the way up to like 1800s. That's the literature we're looking at. That's basically when it was mad. Those are literally the maddest parts of literature to think about, because it's so complicated. Like looking at texts like The Fairy Queen, it's a poem and yet it's like 5 books long. Paradise Lost, it's a poem and yet it's like that big. These are heavy texts with writers thinking about politics and thinking about identity and all these big topics like philosophy and who am I and what is the world and what is the universe, and oh my god, science is being discovered for the first time. How does that reinform the way I look? Like looking at all these topics was mad. Second year academically was difficult, but at the same time I do want to say it was fun. Take that with a pinch of salt. The second thing I'm going to kind of talk about and reflect with you guys is relationships and friendships. As with us all, right, friendships kind of change and evolve, because you evolve as a person, your friends evolve as a person, the things you like to do, the things your friends like to do, like they change over time. Sometimes they might clash with each other, sometimes you guys change in like the same way, sometimes you change in different ways. So all this change is going on. We're all growing, we're all trying to adult. Like adulting is hard, womaning is hard. Like, you know, I would definitely say I'm a different person to who I was in first year. Some of the main things I learned in second year were that you have different types of friendships, right? So you have those where you have those emotional support, like that kind of I guess for me like a sister kind of bond, or a brother and sister. Manish, I can see you.
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing? Huh? Can you close the door, please? Bloody talking about serious things and you just kind of like a little clown. And so yeah, like there's kind of those relationships where you have that sister brotherly bond or that sister bond or whatever it is, and your friendship is not just about the good times, it's about the bad times too. So when you're having a shit time, those people, they're there for you. They look after you. So there's those kind of friendships. Then there's the friendships where you kind of just see each other for the good times, you kind of socialize and hang out. They don't expect emotional support from you, therefore you shouldn't really expect it from them. And that was something I had to make a lot of peace with. With a lot of my friendships, I kind of conflated them all together. I was like, right, well, if my best friend is like this and all my friends should be like this, that doesn't really make sense. Because if you think about it, if you're in a relationship and you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you can't impose those expectations onto everyone. And I feel like we kind of understand that binary when it comes to like relationship versus friendship, but we don't understand that binary when it comes to like best friendship versus just like all your other friendships that exist. So yeah, one thing that I would say is I just learned that some relationships with people are different, friendships with people are different, and that's okay. Making peace with that is fine. You can't impose expectations onto anyone. So yeah, I think understanding and navigating that there's different types of friendships and relationships at uni is really, really, really important. And that's something I just didn't really clock until the end of second year, which it took a bit long. It really took long. The lighting's being a bit weird. It's just because of the sun. So the last thing that I want to talk about is me, myself, and I really. Reflecting on yourself is really, really important. And that's something that I think I've done since I finished Trinity term, so since I finished my final term of uni. Doing the final term of second year at home was quite rubbish, as we all know. But at the same time, I think there's a lot to look at positively. So in this pandemic, for example, I've learned a lot about how to be flexible, about how to be cooperative, how to kind of just work around your family members and just they work around you. I've had to like flip my sleep upside down and stuff and like adjust to like the noise levels, the busyness levels, the contact hours of my family. Like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So that's been hard, but I think the one thing I've learned is communication is key. Communication with your loved ones, communication with your teachers, with your professors, with your tutors, and communication with yourself about what you want, what you don't want. Another thing that I would say I really realized is that like being able to take time out for yourself, stuff like, okay, all right, noise. So yeah, like things like self-care, looking out for yourself as much as you would look out for anyone else, like that's so important. Another thing is just knowing when to say no. Saying no to not just like friends, not just family, but like saying no to tutors sometimes, or saying no to people who are recommending you for jobs or recommending you for opportunities. Like if you get a bunch of opportunities sent your way and you're like, okay, I want to do this, but actually I need to stop. Man said I meant that, but actually I need to stop and like pause and evaluate and just do my own stuff, like do stuff I enjoy. Don't do stuff that other people are imposing onto you, okay? Just do stuff you enjoy, all right? Your happiness first. This has just really become a big sister chart, I'm gonna be honest. Some things that I really, really learned are just like, you are your greatest source of happiness, and like, I think I forgot that. Just don't mind the frizz situation. So like, realizing you are your greatest source of happiness, realizing that you get to choose whether you're happy or not, like that control is within you. Don't impose that onto anyone else. Look at that shine. I didn't even do anything. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Except for that, but wow. Let other people add to the existing happiness that you have within yourself, which is hard, and it's obviously still something I'm working on. Like all these lessons that I'm talking about apply to myself too, and something that I'm still working on. But yeah, in terms of third year, obviously it's gonna be a wild ride. Third year is going to be very busy. It's going to be different to second year, different to first year, and it's mad because I'm going to be a finalist at big Oxford University. Crazy, because second year was the year where I was like, I'm going to leave. I'm leaving this place. I'm taking a year out. And not only did I say that, but like college said that to me too. In terms of third year content, I've got a dissertation, I've got coursework, I've got another paper where it's like you submit a portfolio, so I guess another piece of coursework. So there's a lot of kind of independent writing and independent research that needs to take place between now and October, and it needs to happen. Knowing that you can work hard, knowing that you've got it in you, like that's so important, because I spent like deep it first term of second year because of my mental health. I didn't really have a first term because all I really did was go to a few events that I'm like president of. Like that was the one thing that kept me going. So I went to those few events and that was about it. And I went to like a few tutorials here and there, submitted a few essays here and there, and that was it. And then for second term I was playing catch up, and so went into like study mode / I'm exhausted mode. And then third term, like I'm not even in Oxford, like I'm at home, and obviously we're not all seeing each other, we're not in the space, we're not in the bubble of Oxford. So I only really had one term where I probably like had an Oxford term, like had a proper Oxford term. So that was peak. Obviously it was, but looking back, like it was peak, but it was necessary, and I just learned so much. And so I guess the conclusion of this video is that, like, when you have these down times, when you have these times in life, and this sounds very like macro and very melodramatic, but I think it's important to share with you guys, because again, I said I'm gonna give you an honest journey, and that's what I'm doing. Like, this year was genuinely the worst academic year of my 20 years. I'm finishing second year with a 2-2 on my report. I finished first year with a solid 2-1, with the intention that second year would be high 2-1, a first class area. I'd be at a high 2-1 or a first. That's what my plan was. And fam, I'm on a 2-2. You have like a first, you have a 2-1, you have a 2-2, you have a third, and then you have a fail. You can't even see the fail. That's how it's just not even fitting in the camera, right? So I'm like below average, basically. I finished second year below average. So yeah, I've worked really hard. Yeah, it was an exhausting year, but academically it just wasn't enough. So I need to spend the summer properly banging out work. I think the concluding kind of message or concluding quote, because I'm moist and I do English, I said English like a Punjabi, like a proper freshy Punjabi. The one thing that I did learn from this year was just that you are your greatest source of happiness, and you are your greatest source of strength. Knowing that you can do it, knowing that it's within you is really, really important, and keeping motivated, keeping at it, realizing that you can do it. When I had my academic review, so when I sat down with my tutors on Zoom and was like, and they kind of just reflected on how the year's gone, they basically just said like, this was a mess, I'm not gonna lie, don't know how the hell you're gonna fix up over the summer, but good luck, and we hope to see you in third year, and we hope to see you strive. Like, that was their message, and they're right, it was a mess. This year was the ghetto.
I'm in the ghetto.
You come out of the ghetto and you go, you know,
I don't even know what this metaphor is.
but basically you come out stronger. And I think that's the best part about this journey, is that first year was a lot about learning, about kind of settling into Oxford, and second year was about just trying to figure out what works for me and whether I'm comfortable, and constantly evaluating that is tiring, but it's necessary. For those of you who are starting uni or going into year 13 or year 12, or I don't know, starting a job or whatever, I don't know what my viewers do. Actually, let me know in the comments below. But for those of us who are students, like, if you're going on to the next stage of your academic year, like, let me know how it's going, and I hope this helped. I hope you guys know that Neetu is back and she's okay, she is improving, she is doing better. Touch wood, thank God, thank family and friends. I'm doing a lot better, and I aim to just bang out third year, man. Like, allow being sad, allow being angry at the world. I would really, really advise for you that if you've reached the end of your academic year, whether that's now or whether it was a few weeks ago or whenever it is, write down all your achievements and write down everything that you felt went wrong, and turn it upside down and turn it into an achievement. I know, oh my God, I went to gym only 1 hour a week, 1L. I was meant to go like four days a week. Like, take that 1 hour a week as an achievement and build it up in the next time you start, whenever the gym's open. If you're here and you've listened to all that waffle, thank you. I want to take some time out to reply to as many comments as I can on every single video. So if you have commented and stuff, I will reply to you, so don't worry. And well done for getting through this academic year, and well done for making it out, because we did it. We did a whole ass academic term, whether that was finals, whether that was homework, schoolwork, whatever it was. We did it during a pandemic. Like, you have to deep that. Insane. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Sending big love, and well done, guys. Well done for getting through the year. Bye.